Wednesday, April 5th, today's edition of the video largely focused on the severe weather potential here in the southeast today and on into this evening and tonight. There's a look at the Greensboro Tower camera during the 5 o'clock hour. All is quiet across the Carolinas this morning. There's the Dowd YMCA camera in uptown Charlotte. Temperature there 60 early this morning. Had a really warm day yesterday. Fantastic stuff overall with highs into the 80s in a lot of spots. There's your Triad area high temperatures for Tuesday afternoon. The Charlotte viewing area is similar. Even Boone hit 70 yesterday afternoon. All right, these are temperatures during the 5 a.m. hour. And as you get down here into parts of the Gulf Coast region, this is where the air mass is really moist and unstable already early this morning. In fact, you look at dew point temperatures, there are some 70-degree dew points here along the Gulf Coast. There's basically a warm front right about there. And as that lifts northward, that's going to be one of the big forecast challenges to figure out how unstable the air mass winds up getting up here in the Carolinas as we get a little bit deeper into the day. Severe thunderstorm watch in place across parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And that's the first of what will likely be many watches and warnings here as we go through the day. In fact, you look at the radar imagery this morning, and again, this is during the 5 a.m. hour. This is on the advancing warm front. Some severe thunderstorms already firing, approaching Birmingham from the southwest. And these are basically elevated in nature, so not at this point a huge tornadic threat, but certainly some hail and gusty winds a possibility with that early morning activity in the deep south. So let me flip on the high resolution modeling. Actually, first I got this to show you here. Here's a peek at the surface map, and the advancement of this warm front is key in terms of the severe weather threat further north into the Carolinas as we go through the next 24 hours. That's one of the big forecast challenges. Now, this is the high resolution computer modeling, and what I think we're going to see happen is you see this initial wave of activity right here. That is along the warm front. All right, so let me kind of slow this down. So that is your warm frontal activity moving in this afternoon and into this evening. All right, so this is late afternoon and into the evening hours. Once that passes, we'll have to see how unstable the air mass gets for the next wave of activity kind of working in behind it. Now, this is the current early morning severe weather outlook. And again, you have the question marks here with how unstable the air mass gets up here into parts of North Carolina. That's why you have lower severe weather probabilities up into North Carolina. But I'll show you the high resolution NAM in just a minute. It's indicating a little bit more of an unstable scenario with this most recent run. And if it does get more unstable, then we'd have to expand these severe weather probabilities further to the northeast. But again, as of the early morning outlook, there's your tornado probabilities, and this is the opportunity of a tornado within 25 miles of any one spot. And so you're looking at 15% probabilities down here in the parts of Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, western South Carolina, with lower probabilities further to the north. And that is just entirely dependent on the amount of instability that can develop. So for this point in time, for the Charlotte and the Greensboro areas, I'm going to go with moderate probabilities of a threat from a tornado, damaging winds, or large hail. And again, we'll have to adjust that based on how these small-scale weather features set up throughout the day. There's our highs this afternoon. Now tomorrow we begin to get cooler air in place. Your Thursday highs, very breezy conditions, look like that. Friday, mountain snow continues. Sunshine in the Piedmont, and Friday pretty chilly. In fact, look at these lows on Saturday morning. Really chilly stuff overall. All right, on to the high resolution modeling. Here's what's driving all this aloft. This is your 500 millibars, rather, about 18,000 foot setup there. Vorticity, this disturbance driving in, taking on a bit of a negative tilt as it swings into the Carolinas. All right, so let me take a peek here. First of all, I'll show you the GFS, and then I'll go into the higher resolution NAM computer model here in just a second. There's the instability, the CAPE values off the GFS falling around sunset, and then you notice here in the Carolinas those instability values increasing as we get deeper through the evening hours as that warm and more unstable area gets drawn to the north. So this is what it looks like early this afternoon, and then you get into the afternoon and the evening hours. This is that activity along the warm front. Cold front still west of the mountains. And then as we get into tonight, there's your unsettled conditions with the scattering of showers and thunderstorms. Now on the NAM model, let's see, this was the 0Z NAM, and it changed a bit with the 6Z, which has just come in recently. Now, on the 0Z run, you kind of had this wall of convection, this wall of showers and storms that held to the south this afternoon into this evening. And that kept things relatively more stable over North Carolina. So this was valid then at just before daybreak tomorrow. Not terrible looking over North Carolina. But however, at any rate, as you get into this afternoon on the latest run of the NAM, you notice it is not nearly as widespread with those showers and storms through Georgia and South Carolina. That allows more instability to creep to the north. So this is valid, that would be, about 6 o'clock this evening. And then much more active overnight tonight then with more instability in place. And these are the really small scale, difficult to discern details that make or break a severe weather event. And we'll just have to watch how trends unfold as today moves along. Now, following this system, again, it does get cooler. In fact, take a peek at the snow flying in the North Carolina mountains there on the GFS for Friday. And then just very, very quiet and nice weather through the weekend. Saturday, Sunday looking absolutely spectacular. Saturday's highs largely in the 60s, up into the 70s for Sunday. And again, I showed you those chilly morning lows, some lows in the 30s coming up behind this front too. Just a quick look at the snow in the mountains. There's the GFS showing you those northwest flow snow areas. The areas that typically do well in the northwest flow snow events certainly can pick up several inches of snow beginning late tomorrow and especially Thursday night, Friday, maybe lingering into Friday night. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day. Stay safe and God bless.